Welcome back. We are in court again this week. This is sort of an unusual week in that in Horry County, generally we have one plea judge and one trial judge, and we'll have pleas going on in one courtroom and trials going on in another. This week we just have a trial judge, and then we've got motions taking place in another courtroom, but they're civil motions. So we really work to take care of, make as much use out of the courtrooms as we can, because there's limited time. If you think about it, there's 52 weeks in a year. None of us can change that. Out of those, we generally have 26 weeks of trials and 26 weeks of pleas. And I get all the time, why do you have so many plea offers? If you could really dig into the numbers, I've repeatedly told you in Horry we'll have over 10,000 warrants a year coming in from Myrtle Beach, from Briarcliff, from Aynor, from Conway, from Highway Patrol, from City of Conway. In Georgetown you've got Andrews, in Georgetown City, in Georgetown County there's about 2,000 warrants a year. So there's no way to divide up 10,000 by 26. Even if you did away with all the pleas and rolled all of those, now you got 52 weeks. Just divide 10,000 by 52 and see how many trials you would have to have. There's not enough hours in the day to do it. So you have to have pleas. And the way we model that here in Horry County is very much by the federal model, and you'll see it all the time, and we get questions all the time. It's as simple as this: if you plead early, you're going to get a better break than if you plea or go to trial. The case that we're going to talk about first today is a perfect example of that. This involved 3 young men in and around the Loris area, with home invasion after home invasion. One young man, Maurice Bellamy, pled very early in the process. He received 15 years. Now that's a lot of time, but home invasions, you should get a lot of time. That is going in and committing a burglary at times where people are home, and that is a very frightening experience. So 15 years, but he got a break for pleading early. The next young man, Quentin Faison, he decided he wanted a trial. And if you go to trial, generally speaking, you are either going to go home, or you're going to go away for a long time. Quentin Faison went to trial and received a sentence of 25 years. That is no parole. That means you will serve about 22 before you come up for any sort of credit for good time, bad time. That is a big sentence, and that's 10 years more than Bellamy. Now, the third party in that split the difference. His name is Dale Ford, and he started with a trial on Monday and then said, Judge, I want to plead guilty. Now, just to, you were not in the courtroom, but just to show you what that went like, is once we go to trial, once we save a date for you, then we're expecting a lot of time. And he ended up splitting the difference with 20 years, but we were asking the judge for 30 years, even more time. Once we gear up for trial, we're ready to go then. All of the witnesses have been inconvenienced. The victims, who at one point was being held by under gun, with a gun to their head, put in a bathtub, they're having to take off work and be re-victimized. So Dale Ford got a better sentence than he deserved. However, just by pleading guilty and not going to trial, he got 5 years less than Quentin Faison, who went to trial and was convicted by a jury. I have little doubt that if Dale Ford would have went to trial, he would have probably got 30 to 40 years. Now, again, defendants tell me all the time, if I got to do 15, what's the difference between 15 and 20? Here's the difference. If you're 30 years old, when you are 45, you're getting out. If you get the extra 5 years, you're not getting out at 45, you're getting out at 50. So the question really becomes relevant when you start your last 5-year part of that sentence. This is real time. This is not make-believe. And that is why we do what we do. We have to pressure pleas. And again, if it's home invasion, we're going to get some time either way. But just like in the federal system, if you plead guilty early, you're going to get a better break than if you wait to the eve of trial or go to trial and are convicted. In another case in Georgetown that took place, a young man by the name of Jabron Taiwan Richardson, no relation, 42 of Andrews, was convicted of his third or subsequent offense. Now, that gave us the opportunity to try a case with two young prosecutors. One young lady has been with us maybe 3-4 years, Liz Smith. The other one was Jasmine Waits, and Jasmine has been with us maybe 6 months to a year. But they did a heck of a job on this case. This was a drug enforcement unit case, which is people from all different jurisdictions coming together. The sheriff's office in Georgetown, the sheriff's office in, the city police in Georgetown, Andrews Police, DEU, everybody had a part in that. To go back to the plea stuff, Mr. Richardson started his career, he's 42 now, but he started with a youthful offender sentence where he served about 2.5 to 3 years on his first distribution. And every year after that he has been arrested and rearrested and right back until finally he got 25 years, which was and is the mandatory minimum for distribution third offense, trafficking third offense. That's the least that the judge could have given him. Now, to put that in perspective, Richardson was offered around 10 years if he were to have pled early in the process. He said pound sand. Now he is going to serve 85% of 25 years, and that'll put him at, again, about 22 years. He's 42 years old. He will be well into his 60s when he gets out. One thing that I believe, and Mr. Richardson had a trach, some medical issues, and you see that in the booking photo. One of the things that I believe is that he thinks that, and a lot of people do, because of my medical history, or because that I'm going to be more expensive to be housed in prison, they won't do anything with me. That has been proven false yet again. But there is a lot of jailhouse lawyers that'll tell you differently as you're awaiting trial. My hope would be that these sentences, and we do monitor jail calls, and the word is getting out. They are really passing out some heavy time around here, and that helps on the front end to push this narrative that you need to plead guilty early. So those are some of the things. We've got a trial going on now in front of Judge Hood out of Columbia. That is a murder trial. Should take 2-3 days, and we'll update you on that at the end of our next week.